All right, Storm fans, we want to thank you guys for tuning in yet again to another edition of the Storm Alerts. Today, we have a great guest lined up. Really excited about getting to talk to this guy and for you fans to get a chance to actually meet him. Um, don't forget, we are getting close to season. If there is any way that you want to be involved with this team, don't forget, we still are looking for any way, shape, or form partnerships. If you have any idea that you might want to be a partner, just go ahead and let us know at one of these emails down below, and we will do what we can to get you involved. But without further ado, I want to introduce Mr. Connor Davis, guy that, as you can see from his pictures here, has played with the ball in his hand. We actually signed him as an O lineman. But Mr. Connor, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, man. Kind of excited to be here. Appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Connor, kind of tell us where you grew up. How'd you get into the football? What really started you there?
That's going back now. I started playing when I was about 6. So, I guess I've been playing ball now for 23 years. So,
Nice.
a bit of time. Just kind of, wanted a sport that maybe had a little more contact. Baseball was kind of the first thing I started with my dad growing up in Maryland.
Yeah.
And then, I wanted sports with a little more contact. And so I gravitated towards football. And I kind of fell for that pretty hard. It pretty quickly became my primary sport, by the time I was in middle school. So.
Okay, awesome. So tell us where you said you grew up in Maryland. Where'd you go to high school?
Yeah. So I went to a small public school, actually. It was I think we were 2A when I was there. So Maryland, you kind of go up to 4A, 4 being the largest, 1 is the smallest. When I was there, we were 2A. They're now 1A. So it was a very small public school.
Yeah.
We never really competed for state titles. But during the 4 years I was there, and for a couple of years after, we ended up having a real good team. We had a real good group of guys that went through. So I was able to kind of take over there at defensive end. That was my primary position back in high school. And we were able to make the playoffs and at least take a shot and compete for it each year. So that's kind of it's kind of fun to kind of bring that to my hometown.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Well, being out here, we are no stranger to small schools. Obviously, we have our couple big schools and a couple 6As around here, but the majority of them are 3As lower. So after high school, what did your college ball look like? I know that you went to Stony Brook. What was that time like?
Yeah, so Stony Brook, I had a good time up there. I really, really liked the team, liked a lot of the staff.
Mm-hmm.
I was recruited as a defensive end. I remember going through that process. The defensive coordinator at the time was a guy I kind of kept running into during my recruiting process, and he kind of recruited me to go there. So I went in as a defensive end. I injured myself my freshman year. Fortunately, I had an injury to my left knee, and so they went to move me to tight end afterwards. And then I ended up being at Stony Brook for a total of 6 years. I had a medical and then a red shirt. And in my time there, honestly, I bounced around between defensive end, tight end, and offensive tackle one season.
Okay.
I made probably anywhere between 6 to 8 position changes, depending on team needs. Yeah. Between those 3. So, it's kind of, to do whatever I could to help the team win at the time.
No, that's awesome. That's going to be something that with stepping into the AFL this year is, Iron Man. A lot of guys are probably going to see a lot of different positions. And so, you can see you jumping from O-line, D-line, which sounds like it's not going to be a problem since you have that experience there.
I'm kind of excited for that. It's been, I know at this point I haven't had a chance to kind of put a hand in the dirt for DN for a couple of years, but that was kind of my first love when it came to football. That was, my first position I had a passion for. So.
Yeah. No, so for those that don't know, and I'm going to go ahead and pull his graphic back up, as we can see that those white jerseys and that orange helmet. For those that don't know, that is the Cleveland Browns. So I know that you've kind of had some time at a few different leagues, a few different teams. Kind of take us through that process of your professional career thus far.
All right. Yeah. No problem. So 2017 was when I left Stony Brook. The 2018 year was my draft class. Mm-hmm. When I came out, I kind of didn't have an opportunity as a free agent. Like I said, I bounced around a lot of positions in college, and we were a run-heavy team. So our tight ends were extensions of the O-line.
Yeah.
Like we would, you think of practice, tight ends are doing routes on air, doing all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We'd be in the sled. I mean, we'd be hitting the sled and we'd be in the chutes with the offensive line. So that was kind of just the way the program was. So coming out of college, not a ton of reception, smaller school. It was we were kind of grinding to get an opportunity. So that's when in 2019 I headed down to Atlanta for it was like an open workout, open combine for the AAF at the time. Met the head of player personnel for the Birmingham Iron. We kind of hit it off. He ended up drafting me, bringing me into the Birmingham Iron in the AAF in 2019. Once that league went under, I kind of did the same exact thing for the XFL, and he ended up actually going to the St. Louis Battlehawks as well. So he brought me along and brought me into the XFL with St. Louis. From there, obviously COVID happened. For a lot of people, it kind of impacted their career, especially if you were still in college at the time. It had a kind of a negative impact. It shut down a lot of seasons. For me, that actually really helped open the door to the NFL. Because it was that camp. So 2020, August 2020, the New York Jets had a lot of guys go down right before camp. I think they had a couple guys go down injured. And with all the COVID restrictions at the time, teams weren't trying to fly guys in. Well, I was close enough to New York where I could drive. So they brought me in for a workout and they signed me the day before camp started.
Okay.
So, I had a good workout, signed there, had a good week in camp, but then the other guys that were hurt, they needed to bring them back. So in order to bring them back, I was released, but I was able to do well enough in my time there that they brought me back about week 6 and I ended up signing to the practice squad for the rest of the season. In New York, after that is when they changed coaching staffs. So that off season, when they had the draft and new staff, I was released, and a week and a half later, when Cleveland brought me in. And Cleveland was fun, man. I really enjoyed the staff there. I really enjoyed my time in Cleveland. The tight end unit was awesome. That was Austin Hooper, David Njoku, Harrison Bryant. It was really, really fun unit, really great staff. It just, unfortunately, my time there kind of ended with an injury in the week 2 preseason game against the Giants.
Okay.
So, then let me think. From there, got healthy and then got involved in the USFL. Had a full season back, and then since the USFL, I've now transitioned to offensive tackle last year.
Okay.
And that's kind of, it's a bit of a lengthy explanation, but that's kind of it's in a nutshell the last 6 years.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I mean, it goes to show that small school guys can still make it, and that unfortunately the NFL is a business, and
absolutely, yeah.
But it's awesome to hear that you've had so much great experience at the highest levels of outdoor football, and that unfortunately you've been a prime target of COVID and then the leagues disbanding and merging and all of that.
Yeah.
But so with all that, you've transitioned into transitioned back into an offensive lineman. Can you kind of tell us what that means for you? I know that you said in college you were basically a blocker, an extension of the O-line.
Yeah.
And so what's that transition been for you?
This kind of, this time around it's been different than college. The one season I played offensive tackle, this kind of been all in. In college when I played right tackle, I was told the first day of training camp. So I show up ready to play tight end. I've been working the off season. I'm ready to go. Unfortunately, we had one guy get hurt. We had one guy that I think transferred or was no longer with the team, and so now we get into camp and we don't have a right tackle. So I go from tight end to, by first day of training camp practice, I'm now the starting right tackle.
Yeah. And
so I started at all 10 games there, and played that. I was like 265 pounds, I think, playing right tackle. So like I said, it was the tight ends I was literally an extension of the O-line. I was the same size I was as a tight end, but now playing right tackle in college.
Yeah. So, no, that's funny. I mean, I spent 2 years in the college game.
Okay.
Student coach, and I'll never forget. So, guy ended up being one of my best friends off the team. He I think he was our third or fourth tight end, and he traveled. He was a travel guy because he was our long snapper. Got in on certain situations. Well, I guess my light didn't want to be on anymore. But we actually talked to him. We're like, hey, we had a lot of linebacker recruits that we thought we had signed, thought were coming. None of them ended up coming. How would you like to jump over to defense? Yeah, sure. And he ended up starting middle linebacker for us his entire senior year. So that was pretty awesome.
Shoot, that's not a bad way to go out.
Oh, not at all. So you're going to be jumping into a new league, and really just basically a brand new league for everybody. AFL has been around, but what can you tell us about what's your excitement for what that's going to be for you?
I mean, I couldn't be more excited. It's going to be a bit of a change of pace. This will be my first experience with indoor ball. But I'm just kind of excited for the opportunity, excited to be a part of it in its first year back. The previous iterations of the AFL, I've heard good things. I had a real good friend of mine who I was with in a couple of these leagues. He actually got his start with the Washington Valor in 2018, I believe. And he always had good things to say. He's a big, he's a big advocate for indoor ball. His name's Jake Payne. Had a good time there, and that helped him expand his career and get into the XFL and AAF. So I couldn't be more excited just for the opportunity to play ball, kind of get there and meet the staff, meet the team, and just get to work.
Yeah, no, I know. Not too far out from reporting to camp, just a couple of weeks. What's your excitement? I know we talked about it a little bit beforehand that it's going to be a little bit different. You haven't ever been out to Kansas.
Yeah.
What's your excitement for getting out to Southwest Kansas?
I'm excited to get there and see the town. I know from the little bit I know. I know it's a bit of a kind of a rural area. Not necessarily like a real big city in that sense, but there's also a lot of historical aspects to the city from what I've told and what I've been able to find. So I'm kind of excited to get out there and just see the town. Meet some of the people out there. I think we have like a welcoming event at some point during camp in those first 2 weeks, so I'm excited to get a chance to meet some of the fans, meet some of the people that are going to be around and, have a chance to come to some of our games.
Yeah, no, awesome. I lost my train of thought. I had a question that was lined up with that perfect. I don't remember what it was now. Yeah, I don't know. I got to think about it. I remember.
It might come back later.
Yeah, I just came back. I remember what it was now. I don't know how I could have forgot it, but kind of tell us what was what were the conversations like with the team to get you out here? What really got you excited about this opportunity in particular?
We were talking about it, from talking to the team, from the sounds they're kind of putting together, a real good roster. They were also like finding ways to take care of the guys. Cause I know you have this league, you have the IFL, like there's a lot of, there's multiple opportunities for indoor ball. And so I was kind of mulling around a couple options, and from what I could hear, it's just the way they kind of talked about what the goals were for this team, what the goals were for this league and taking care of the players. It just seemed like the best situation for me and the best place for kind of me to have some success and, keep working on this transition and get some film. So something else I kind of, heard it is, I think I saw Coach Thomas was on a podcast, or he was kind of talking about the upcoming team. And I really like kind of his outlook on this. I think he said, ideally they want to do a complete turnover of the roster after this year. They want to use this as an opportunity for everyone to kind of get in, do what they got to do, get to the next step of their career, and then they bring in a whole new group of guys next year and move forward. And I kind of really like that approach to it, and kind of caring about the growth of guys, the growth of their careers, and not as much as just, hey, like, I just care about winning right now, like and obviously we care about winning. You always care about winning in a sport. But you care about the actual growth of the players and not just the bottom line of the business of professional ball, because that's what so much of this is. And you learn that very quickly in some of these leagues, especially the NFL, that it is a business. And while this is obviously still a business and it's still about winning, I just really like also kind of having that approach to make it a little bit more personable, a little bit more invested in the guys.
Yeah, no, perfect. So I guess I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit, but. What questions do you have about what Southwest Kansas is all about, whether it's the Storm, the area, the people?
Well, I will say the one thing I've realized quickly. Um, well, I didn't think about it at the time. So, I signed. I'm all excited, and I was thinking if something popped in my mind. I was like, oh well, I'm going to be kind of right in the middle of the country. And I was
Mm,
like, well, I wonder. I remember Tornado Alley is somewhere in the middle of the country. I'm like, I wonder if we're anywhere near there.
yeah.
And so I Googled like Tornado Alley, and an image came up, and I see Southwest Kansas. It's like right in the middle, like from whether you're going horizontally or vertically, like you're smack in it.
Yeah.
And I'm not the biggest fan of tornadoes or high winds. I was around some when I was younger in Maryland.
Yeah.
So right away I'm all over the internet. I'm like, how many tornadoes per year in Southwest Kansas?
I will say there's actually been research that is being done that Tornado Alley is actually shifting to the east, so we are starting to get out of it.
Oh, perfect, great.
Yeah.
I'm heading west at the right time.
Yeah, just in time for you to get here.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's really we'll have the occasional tornado, but generally they miss our area for the most part. I wish I could tell you for sure, hey, we're not going to have one this year, but
Yeah, no, all good.
I'm hoping on Saturday and Sunday nights at about 6 o'clock on Saturdays and 2 o'clock on Sundays, there's a big tornado rolling through the arena.
Absolutely, for sure. Either way, I'm not. At the end of the day, I'm not too worried. There's always something anywhere you can live. There's always every place has their own thing. But I guess another question, and this is one of the things I always like to find every time I'm in a new city, every time I'm with a new team. I guess your personal opinion I'll take on this. What's a big or go-to food spot? I'm always big on like the big food spots, so like a go-to food spot in the area.
So the big thing that we are known for in the area is tacos.
Tacos, okay.
Food. Jalisco's. It's on White Earp. It is amazing. It's a little bit of a hole in the wall.
Hey, that's my kind of spot. The hole in the wall spot is my favorite.
Everybody knows about it. I'd also say Prime on the Nine is a good one. It's kind of an upscale restaurant. It's actually on the golf course.
Ooh, okay.
It's pretty good. See what else. If you get in with the right people, you can get some really good barbecue.
Okay.
So
I'll have to start networking then when I get there.
there's some people that know their way around a smoker and the grill. And then obviously being in the middle of cattle country, if you get them with the right people, again, you can get some really, really good steak.
All right, shoot, all that sounds good. Barbecue, steaks, tacos. Name some kind of my go-to hit. So,
but yeah, I mean, there's quite a few little taco trucks too within the town that those are really good. I don't want to drop too many names because I don't. If we can get sponsorships from them, it'd be great. Have you standing out there like the NIL now?
Oh shoot, absolutely.
Their tacos.
I'll promote as much as you want. If I get free taco, I'll do promote as much as you want.
You wonder how I can play so good on Saturday nights because of this right here.
8 tacos 2 hours before the game.
Oh well, as we wrap up tonight. Is there anything that you want the Storm fans and Storm faithful to know about you?
I mean, shoot, I guess, just overall, I couldn't be more excited to kind of get there and, get to work for you guys, get to work for the fans, meet the fans, and kind of bring a physical level of play, that I love doing. I'm kind of all in wherever I go. So I'm kind of excited to bring that there to Southwest Kansas for the Storm and to get to work for you guys, maybe have a chance to bring back a championship back to the city.
Absolutely. We need to have a nice parade July 20. Well, probably a little after July 20th because playing July 20th with the Arena Bowl right down White Earp, right down 2nd Street.
That'd be great. Yeah. Shoot, kind of bring it back.
Yeah. We need to be like Nikola Jokic and saying,
"Oh yeah,
parades." But well, Connor, I don't have anything else for you. If you don't have anything else,
no, I mean, again, I appreciate just having the yarn, getting the chance to kind of talk a bit about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we appreciate you coming on. And as always, Southwest Kansas, don't forget that there is a storm coming, and April 28th, we are going to kick off at Salina. May 4th, be ready at United Wireless Arena as Iowa comes to town, and we are going to create a massive storm on that night.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
All right, Connor, you have a great night.
You too. Have a good night.